Okay, should Perez lose, he can continue to fight at the club fighter level, but you never achieve further than that.
Tomas Perez, the question is, he's a fella who is somewhat of an enigma. He's as great as he has to be sometimes to win, and he's as bad as he can be sometimes. I had a chance to talk to him earlier tonight.
Tomas, there are a couple of schools of thought. One, you like to know as much about your opponent as you can possibly know, i.e. videotapes, reading, watching the fighter. And the other school of thought is you'd rather not know anything and just go about the game that you do so well. What do you like to do? Do you like to know about your fighter?
Yes, I do. I like to know how they fight before I fight them, because I think I'm a smart fighter and I like to study them before I fight them, if I have a chance.
In terms of your opponent tonight, Royan Hammond, what do you know about Royan?
Well, I saw him fight Lupe Aquino once for the NABF title, and they went the distance. I got to watch a lot of them, and I think I'm ready for him right now.
In terms of fighting quality fighters, you've got a couple of quality fighters in your background. You fought Jorge Vaca, you fought Aquino a couple of times. Do you think you're ready to move maybe a step beyond where you are now, Tomas?
Yeah, I know I am ready, and I hope that after this fight I can get a shot at something big, because I saw Royan Hammond, he fought for NABF title already, and I'm #1 in NABF. I want to fight somebody in the top 10 in the world. I want to get a world title this year or early next year. I think my manager, that's what they want also, and at least I hope so. I know they do. And, if I get a world title, I take it, because I've seen the champions and I know I can fight anyone.
Now, the man who brought Tomas Perez into the squared circle was a fella by the name of Cubanito Perez. Not a bad fighter.
Not a bad fighter. Not a bad fighter whatsoever. Cubanito was a fringe contender. He had his shot, his day in the sun when he fought Jimmy Paul for the IBF 135-pounder lightweight championship about 3 years ago in New Jersey. In the Meadowlands, he just came up short on the end of a 15-round decision.
Well, Cubanito Perez is not going to be able to help his younger brother Tomas tonight as he gets prepared to take on Royan Hammond. At one time, that man right there was 16-0, and then he ran into a very, very hungry Lupe Aquino, followed by another loss to Kenny Lopez just a few months ago, and what a stunning loss that was.
Well, Kenny Lopez was a rated club fighter as far as I was concerned. I was very surprised when Hammond bit the dust in less than 2 rounds up in Richmond, California. Royan Hammond, fine, outstanding amateur at one time, handled by Terry Lee out of the Concord area. Now he's with John Rivera out of San Jose.
Well, we're set to go. Our two combatants are in the ring. Let's take you down there. And Danny Valdivia.
Two young men making a name for themselves in the world of boxing. He's always in a battle. He'll be appearing here soon from Huntington Beach, welterweight Ernie Chavez. This young man's off a big win over Jesse Lopez on the Mancini Camacho card. Also, he'll be here at the Marriott in the very near future, Kenny Comer. Still getting in shape. He'll be back very soon. The former California State Bantam and Super Bantamweight champion, Georgie Garcia. Orange County's #1 boxing fan, comedian, Joey Bishop. He's in the audience. He's fought the best in his division, including Meldrick Taylor, Jimmy Paul, and Macho Camacho. He came out to watch his little brother box tonight. Irleis Cubanito Perez. Don Frazier Promotions presents the main event of the evening, 12 rounds for the Super Welterweight Championship of the state of California. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Raul Silva, chairman. In charge of officials at ringside, Mr. Hank Yoshinaga. Also in attendance, boxing commissioner Charles Westland. Our referee for our main event, commander of the California State Police Southern California Division, Robert Bird. Here we go, the challenger in the blue corner to my left from Vallejo, California. He's wearing black trunks with red stripes, 16 wins, 2 losses, 8 wins by knockout at 154, Royan Hammond. In the red corner, the champion, wearing blue and gold trunks from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Now living in Moreno Valley, California. 20 wins, 3 losses, 13 big wins by knockout. The California State Super Welterweight champion at 154, Tomas Perez.
fellas been here before. So the only thing I'm going to tell you is when I tell you to stop, I want you to stop. When I tell you to break, I want you to break and break clean, okay? I want a good, clean, competitive fight. This is for the state championship. I expect a championship effort, all right? Corner, too much water.
The instructions coming from referee Robert Byrd is you take a look at what these two fighters are going to see in one another. The tail of the tape for our main event. Perez, 5'11", 154 pounds. Likewise, Hammond. Not much difference in age and the reach. Hammond by an inch, not enough to make a difference.
No, not enough to make a difference. But Royan Hammond's got to work his jab. They call him Royan Destroying Hammond.
Well, it is easy to look only at his last two efforts, both losses to Lupe Aquino and Kenny Lopez. But keep in mind, prior to that, this man was in a hurry to the top, 16-0.
And highly touted, without a doubt. He was considered Northern California's brightest prospect. Gets caught with a left hook right away. Another left hook. Don't stand and hook with the hooker. That's my advice to Royan Hammond right now. Royan Hammond does not look confident with his punches. His punches do not have any zip on it. It could be early. But he doesn't seem to be throwing punches with bad intentions, Phil. He's very tentative.
Hammond says part of the reason for his 2 consecutive defeats coming into this fight was bad training, bad management. He went after John Rivera 2.5 weeks ago. Picked up Arturo Mata working his corner and says that's where he wants to be. Feels 100% more confident than he did a year ago.
Well, he was with Terry Lee, and I forget the lady's name, and was the actual manager of record up in Northern California. But he was with them throughout his amateur career and his pro career through 18 fights. This is his first fight under, he's self-managed now. No longer wants anybody taking a cut out of his paycheck.
Used to have pretty good jab when he was on the way up, but in his last couple of fights, jab has disappeared.
He's abandoned it. Good left hook by Perez. Good right hand. Hammond's hurt. Hammond's hurt. Hammered by a right hand. Yep. Hammond isn't going to last the first round, it looks like, Phil.
Referee Robert Byrd looking very closely.
Hammond refusing to let go with that Tommy Hearns wrist lock. Looping overhand right by Perez, caught. Another right hand.
Hammond has no legs here in round 1.
No, he's like a sponge. He's on the take here. Perez holding and hitting. Jeez. Hammond's doing anything to try to tie Perez up. Big right hand. Wild right hand. Hammond almost went down. Robert Byrd started jumping to take a look at Hammond. Hammond looks hurt. He isn't offering much in the back in the way of an offensive attack either.
Perez trying to load up with that one shot to bring the curtain down.
41 seconds left in the first round. They don't want to let go. Hammond's warned by Robert Byrd for holding. Royan Hammond standing planted his right foot in an attempt to throw the right hand, but had nothing on it. Action-packed opening round for our state title fight, though.
Royan Hammond told me about an hour before we came on the air that with a victory here, he was looking for top 10 status. Tell you what, he is a long, long way from that.
No, he's got 1 minute to think about it, too.
Royan Hammond did well to survive round 1. And boy, what a first round for Tomas Perez.
Hammond was on unsteady legs most of the fight.
About a year ago, that man right there beat a pretty fair fighter by the name of Luis Santana, and since that time, it has been all downhill.
Well, people think that he stepped in over his head when he fought Lupe Aquino for the NABF title. It might have been a jump that he took too soon. But he was 16-0 at the time, and you have to take your chance in professional boxing. You know, you can only be... Here's where Hammond gets hurt. Right hand.
Boy, Perez showing the boxing world that he has more than just one punch as he loads and reloads.
Yep. Royan Hammond was very lucky to survive that round.
Set to go round 2. This one's scheduled for 12.
Royan Hammond's still a little bit on unsteady legs. He came out, went to set his feet there, and his leg just looked a little jiggly still. Hammond doesn't resemble Phil. He doesn't even resemble a fighter he used to be. We're talking about a guy who used to run off 5-6 punch combinations and hurt you with the 5th punch.
What's happened to him?
Well, some guys peak early. Other guys don't put in their work in the gym. They don't learn things. You've got to progressively learn throughout your boxing career. You just can't say, well, I'm a big puncher, so that's enough. Or I'm a fair boxer, I've got a good jab, that's enough. You've got to be a complete fighter.
Now, the one thing that he has done over the last couple of months, he has quit his full-time job to take boxing seriously, to see just how far he can go.
Well, after tonight, he may wish he had that job back. Perez, very cool. Another hook. Two big hooks by Perez. You don't hook with a hooker. And Royan Hammond is committing a fatal mistake by hooking with a hooker in Tomas Perez. Believe it or not, we just had the Irvine police tell our cameraman he couldn't stand up in the corner.
He goes down on one knee, and Hammond may not be far behind him.
He just doesn't resemble the fighter he used to be. The coordination seems to be gone. I mean, he used to be a well-coordinated athlete. He doesn't look like he even possesses great coordination. I mean, look at those arm punches. His feet were side by side. He's landing, but his shots have nothing on him. Nothing. There he goes. Royan Hammond won't last 4 rounds here. No way. Royan Hammond. Also, if you look at the good punch by Perez, Perez got Hammond hurt again. Hammond answers back, lands his best blows of the fight so far. Nothing telling, though. Well, when you look at Royan Hammond's back, it isn't solid. The fat along the side, the skin along the side of his trunks is not solid. He is not in that great of a physical condition. Very well-defined athlete in his prime, as far as his muscularity is concerned.
Hammond, 27 years of age.
Good right hand by Perez.
28.
Perez is landing that right hand at will.
Final 10 seconds of round 2.
Big left hook. Hammond's hurt.
Round 3. These super welters scheduled for 12. They are not going to make it.
Well, Tomas Perez can make it. I just don't know if Royan Hammond can. Royan Hammond starting to come out and pump that jab. I think he went back to the corner, and John Rivera told him, without a jab, you don't stand a chance here tonight.
Now, the one thing that his new trainer, John Rivera, talked about before this fight, he's got to throw harder punches. He's got to sit down on them. He needs to keep his hands up, and he needs to be able to counter effectively. I'll tell you what, those are a lot of things on your wish list.
Yeah, without a doubt. Royan Hammond, I'm really surprised that a fighter's, I don't want to say he's went downhill all the way, but he's really lost a lot of his skills. Good body shot by Hammond. Perez seems to be taking his time a little bit here.
Perez grew up in Glen Cove, New York. You know who that's the home of? 76 medalist Howard Davis.
Howard Davis, fine fighter, fine amateur fighter, great professional fighter, but not a championship fighter. Missed in a couple of attempts, lost in the 12th round against Edwin Rosario when he got decked with about 20 seconds left. On Pedro's scorecard, he still won that fight, but it's hard in Puerto Rico to win climbing off the floor twice.
A year and a half ago, he fought Camacho.
Yeah.
Did not show well.
No, he didn't. And Camacho didn't show too well against Mancini a few weeks ago either, okay? I look at it this way. If Camacho doesn't want to dedicate himself, get the heck out of boxing. And even the Puerto Rican fans weren't happy with his performance.
Hammond was on the verge of being knocked out early in round 1.
I I think if Tomas Perez puts on the puts his pedals to his foot on the pedal, he can get Hammond out of here. Royan Hammond's hands are low. He's susceptible to a right hand counter. The same right hand that Perez was tattooing him with early in the fight. Left hook just missed by Perez. Perez trying to wing that right hand.
Perez trying to measure him, and he got him.
Oh, Hammond's really hurt above us. Hammond trying to fall into a clinch. Referee Robert Bird warning Perez about the use of the elbow.
Final 10 seconds of round 3.
Big left hook.
The California Angels are coming.
Now you saw Perez measuring Royan Hammond for that right hand, and once he got the measurement, Pedro, it was all over.
Yeah, without a doubt, the Royan Hammond was hurt again at the end of the round. Royan Hammond's went. Here comes the replay. I think it's the right hand.
Right there it is.
Bang. Good thing for Hammond, it landed on the side of the head. I think we got another angle of that shot. There's Hammond with his back to the ropes. Here goes Perez with a wild overhand right smash. Caught him with another right hand after that.
Well, twice now, that man has almost ended this fight, but has not been able to do it. Round 4.
No shortage of intestinal fortitude on Royan Hammond's part. He came out smoking for this round, even though he went back to his stool, hurt the last round. You can't hook with a hooker. I don't know why these guys stand and punch with a puncher. I saw De Jesus do it with Duran. I thought that was suicide.
Oh. And he did it twice with Duran.
Yeah, to 3. He rumbled with him 3 times.
That's right.
He beat him once.
Right. Which was a miracle in and of itself.
Well, Roberto says he didn't lose that fight. He says, I got knocked down in the first round and the Puerto Ricans took it from me in New York. That's what Roberto says.
Of course, when's the last time you actually heard a fighter say, I lost that fight? I mean, it had to be back in the 1600s.
Oh, well, Lindell Holmes said it on ESPN almost about a month and a half ago. Al Bernstein cornered him. Good old Al.
But Perez here in round 4 appears to be a bit arm weary. It's just surprising.
Well, he hasn't. All he's been doing is throwing. I don't think I'd be tired after 4 rounds of just hitting somebody. But then again, maybe he thought Royan Hammond was an easy touch. If you take into consideration Hammond's recent form, he is an easy touch. Right hand landed by Perez back around the temple.
That's the one thing Hammond told me he was hoping Perez would be thinking about is his last 2 fights.
Well, watching Royan Hammond goes back to the ropes. Good uppercut by Perez there. Clubbing shot. Good hook follow. When Royan Hammond goes back to the ropes, his feet aren't positioned right. Even when he's standing in his ring, his feet aren't at an L stance. Therefore, he can't get any leverage or power on his shots, and he negates any reach advantage he would have.
Yeah.
Somebody just yelled, Perez, you're going down. I think if he's going to go down, he's going to go down out of fatigue. Not by anything Royan Hammond's done so far.
Pedro, I have to believe through 3, almost 4 rounds that it's a simple question of Royan Hammond is not fighting a good tactical fight at all.
No. We mentioned earlier, you don't fight the other guy's fight, and that's punching. Perez is a puncher. Hammond is a boxer, or he was a boxer. His last 2 fights, he didn't get a chance to box too much.
Well, just standing still, Hammond's legs look totally gone.
Yeah. I told you, his legs are unsteady.
The California Angels are coming.
Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock for Fright Night. Roddy McDowell stars as the TV host of a local late-night horror show who has to help a young teenager dispatch the debonair vampire who has moved in next door. Chris Sarandon oozes charm and sophistication as this latter-day suburban count.
Okay. Sounds like a great flick.
I'll tell you what, I bet you that man right now would rather be watching that movie than staring across the ring at Tomas Perez.
Well, Tomas Perez isn't really doing that last round. Even though he won the fight, won the round, he's winning the fight handily by shutting out the destroying Royan Hammond, who's self-destroying in my book. He really didn't do a lot in the last round. I mean, seeing Hammond was hurt and his legs are unsteady, I'd be taking the initiative. I'd be forcing Hammond back to the ropes, making him fight.
Now, the one thing I continue to question here in round 5 is why is Hammond standing right in front of the champ?
He used to have this. He doesn't have the legs and the conditioning to move side to side anymore. Okay, he used to have good side to side movement. He had nice legs. He's on the backs of his feet today. Look at his shoes. See how his shoes curve up in the front? He's not on his toes.
Hammond, good combination. He appears to be coming to life here in round 5.
Only on account of Perez is doing nothing. Tomas Perez's brother is Cubanito Perez, who is, I'll be honest with you, he was also a head case. He was, a lot of times he was ahead in fights. He had the lead on Camacho.
Back in '83.
He let Camacho steal that fight down in Phoenix. He had the lead against Jimmy Paul. And that was a big fight. That was for the IBF lightweight title. Paul wasn't quite the same after that fight. He lost in his next defense to Greg Hogan, who just lost his IBF title to Pernell Whitaker. Good combination exchange by both fighters. Perez landed a big right hand. Hammond's in trouble again. Hammond doesn't know what to do with his legs. He's talking to his legs. He's saying, legs, help me, and they're not cooperating at all. Look at him. Feet side by side in the corner, Phil. You can't get any power, any leverage. You can't use your reach advantage. Basically just throwing powder puff punches from that stance.
We're in round 5. The super bantamweights, super welterweights. Tomas Perez, the California state champion, and the blue trunks against Royan Hammond in the black with red pipes.
Without a doubt, I've got a good punch landed by Hammond there. I've got Perez winning every round so far. 1 to 2 pointer. And after the first 3 rounds, I don't think this was a performance that Tomas Perez will be proud of.
Absolutely not.
Maybe you have a fighter hurt, he's ready to go. You got to question, when the man's hurt, you've got to get him out of there.
And he had him hurt in the first round and had him hurt badly in round 3 and unable to put him away. 5 down, 7 up. Tomas Perez. You were talking about the fact that he had lost to Camacho and Jimmy Paul 3 years ago, but he fought Lupe Aquino twice as an amateur, won both times. As a pro, he beat Kenny Lopez. He KO'd Jorge Vaca before Vaca took Lloyd Hunnigan out for the title. So he has fought some good fighters, and while he has lost a couple, he has dispatched a few good ones along the way as well.
Without a doubt, I think we had him confused with his brother. His brother fought Camacho back in '83. But Tomas Perez is a good fighter, no question about it. There's got to be something wrong here tonight, though. If I was him, I'd be all over Royan Hammond. Like, beans on rice, I'd be all over.
Fella right there from Vallejo, just outside of San Francisco. Boy, what an amateur record, 87-4.
He was untouchable as an amateur, untouchable.
Get the feeling that Perez's corner told him to get out and take care of business.
Well, Perez could actually see this fight slip away. If you can, there's a chance of that. He could become more fatigued, and Hammond, may win this fight just on heart. Remember, Hammond's the visitor, though. This is basically Tomas Perez's hometown. Tomas Perez sucking wind now with his mouth open. Good left hook by Perez. It's an arm punch. Didn't turn the hips with the punch.
We talked about at the outset of our telecast, styles oftentimes making fights, and it's been a pretty interesting fight. Perez has had Hammond in trouble a number of times and just unable to put him away, and how Hammond has stayed around here is truly remarkable. He has no legs at all.
Well, with no legs, now Perez has reduced himself to just throwing one shot at a time, trying to get Hammond. Big right hand there. There's Royan Hammond. See, he isn't moving, he's bouncing.
Perez trying to load up to uncork that big right hook.
Well, you got to give it to Royan Hammond. He's already lasted a lot longer than I thought he would. Royan Hammond fighting in his own corner with his feet side by side. No way is that a condition to fight.
Good overhand right by Perez.
We get a good view there. We can see that when Hammond's back is to the ropes, both his feet are side by side and parallel. Robert Byrd warning Hammond for some foul. Perez trying to tee off that right hand lead. Left hook by Perez. Sloppy punches, Phil. Both men. Decent left hook by Perez, but he didn't turn the shoulders and hook off.
Oh, good counter by Hammond.
Right hand. Probably Hammond's best punch so far. Royan Hammond's a tired fighter. Fighters get tired, their feet come up in the front. Royan Hammond started about the second and third round lifting those feet up. I think Tomas Perez is doing the wrong thing. I think I'd be going to Royan Hammond's body.
I'm Henry Baker.
A man with a past he can't reveal.
I'm beautiful.
A woman with a future she can't imagine. Eye of the Needle.
Now playing on C Channel.
We welcome you back to the Grand Ballroom at the Irvine Marriott. We are set for round 7. Hammond on the right, Perez on the left.
Round 6 was Royan Hammond's best round so far. I called it even. I didn't think he did enough to win the fight, win the round. He's starting to punch with some assertiveness now, and that's important. Like we said earlier, a big career move for both fighters. 3 punches landed by Hammond there. Perez answers back with a left hook. Right hand by Hammond. Yeah. Hammond seems to be building a little bit of self-confidence here. As Tomas Perez cut on the left eye. Good right hand. Good right hand by Perez. Let's see what he turns around to. Let's see. Then referee Robert Byrd warning them both about the clash to the head.
Oh, good left hand as Perez was stumbling in. Sticks his chin out and then unloads a punch of his own. I don't see a cut yet, Pedro. There is swelling above Perez's left eye.
Perez got some scar tissue over above both eyes. He says he's been cut once. Hammond, this is his best round.
Now blood begins to trickle from the outside corner of Perez's left eye. And as long as it stays on the outside, that would bode well.
Yeah.
Now Robert Byrd is going to take a look at that cut. From our vantage point, it does not look bad at all, but the referee wants the ring physician to take a closer look. They'll stop the clock here on round 7. At this point, if the fight were stopped, Pedro, what's the rule?
Well, it's a state title fight. If it was ruled an accidental clash of heads, we would probably go to the scorecards.
Yeah.
If it wasn't ruled a clash of heads and it was an actual punch, Tomas Perez loses on a TKO.
Now the ring doctor says let him go, and Robert Byrd will wait for the physician to take his seat.
We haven't got a word from the referee on whether it was head.
And now the physician was on his way back down the steps and suddenly turned back around. All right, now they're gonna resume.
Got that scar tissue area over Tomas Perez's left eye. It's nasty. Royan Hammond landing now.
He certainly didn't
Look
show
at his
much
legs.
in the
Look at
first
his legs.
5 rounds.
His legs are still gone, Phil. Even though he's fighting with, he's got the heart of a lion, Royan Hammond, as he was pushed back into that corner, it was obvious his legs weren't in control. He wasn't in control of his legs.
Now you got 2 desperate situations. 1, Hammond knows he has the California State champ hurt. Number 2, Perez knows Hammond's legs are gone and he's got a cut and wants to end it.
Yeah.
Boy, Hammond hasn't even been hit, Pedro, and he's having trouble standing up.
Well, that's all due to conditioning or lack of it. Road work, you got to run every morning. No doubt about it. You got to get him running in the morning. Duran, at 37 years old, runs twice a day. Good right hand by Perez. His most effective punch in a couple rounds.
I like the way the referee, Robert Byrd, is officiating this fight. He's letting him fight inside.
One of our better referees from California.
Yes, he is. Final seconds of round 7.
They do real well in the AL West this year.
And rightfully so. Tell you one thing, Rader will keep him loose if nothing else. Doug, a good friend and I think an outstanding manager. We are in round 8 now. Tomas Perez, the California State Super Welterweight champion. He is in the blue trunks. This is for the state championship belt.
Trench warfare now, both men in close.
Boy, Hammond trying to work on that left eye of the champ, Tomas Perez.
I think if the momentum's starting to slip here, and he's starting to slip away from Tomas Perez just a tad bit.
Well, Tomas's cornermen, Jackie McCoy, Tony Gomez, Matt Kishara. Great job of closing that cut.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jackie McCoy, one of the fine trainers and managers in the business.
Oh, he had some good ones. Manda Ramos, Carlos Palomino.
Davila.
Oh, sweeping left hand by the champ.
Yeah.
Palomino, the late Carlos Palomino. For all he did in the ring, will probably be best remembered for his commercial.
He's still alive.
Yes, he's still alive. I'm talking about in terms of his ringmanship.
Okay. His last fight was when Roberto Duran beat him from pillar to post for 10 rounds in New York City at the Madison Square Garden. 1979. Duran's first big fight as a welterweight. Both fighters hooking it up here. Perez getting the better of the two. Only on account of Royan Hammond's legs are nowhere to be found. Got to question the physical conditioning and the preparation of Tomas Perez for this fight. This is a California junior middleweight or super welterweight title fight. He's a champion. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he didn't look like he was in the greatest condition here tonight. Anything can happen in boxing. Like that cut. That cut was ruled to cause by a blow, and Hammond can open it up. He's the new state title holder. Tomas Perez should be working that body. As bad as Hammond's legs were earlier, Phil, I just can't understand why he isn't just ripping shots to the liver and the heart.
Well, they were bad earlier. They're worse now.
Royan Hammond showing a lot of heart. Just getting out of the way. He didn't get out of the way of that one.
Seconds left here in round 8. Who would have ever thought this one would ever see round 9?
Not I.
9 for the California Super Welterweight title. The champion, Tomas Perez. He had the challenger, Royan Hammond, in trouble early. Rounds 1 and 3 had him on the way and couldn't finish him off. make no mistake about it. Perez at this point, I believe, Pedro, way ahead on the scorecard.
Way ahead on the scorecards. Maybe Hammond's won one round, and one round's been even. For the most part, it's been all Perez, but it hasn't been a spectacular Perez. Perez looks very, very ordinary tonight, Phil. Now Perez is standing as a southpaw. Now he's back orthodox. Both men clutching, grabbing.
Now, the one thing that I always remembered from Royan Hammond is good movement. Never a real hard puncher. Always had great movement. See none of that tonight.
No, and he keeps crossing his legs. So see his legs are side by side like that. You can't, if you get hit with a blow, you can't answer back. You're not in a position to throw punches.
Win or lose, I would have the man on the left on the pavement tomorrow at 5 in the morning. We'll do 3, maybe 4 miles.
I would think so. You might outrun him. Doesn't look like he did a whole lot of road work for this. No short of intestinal fortitude on Royan Hammond's part, though.
Absolutely not.
See, his legs are unsteady as he pushes forward. He's almost falling over himself there.
And Tomas, a burst of energy here in round 8.
Perez should just Perez should just go to work and take Hammond out.
Robert Byrd warning the champ not to hold and hit.
Very efficient referee, not like the referee we had in the last fight.
Robert Byrd, third man in the round here in round 9.
Scheduled 12-rounder for the state California junior middleweight or super welterweight championship. 154 pounds. There goes Perez trying to go downstairs. He should have picked it up about 3 or 4 rounds ago. He's falling over his own feet there, Royan Hammond. Throwing a blow and getting all pulled out of position.
Final seconds of round 9. Trying to weather still another tornado.
Yeah, he's in deep trouble.
Okay, let's go. Take a deep breath.
Royan Hammond says he's trying. He says, I just don't have it. I can believe that.
John Rivera, his new trainer, asking him, can you do it? Here we go, round 10.
Hammond on unsteady legs at the start of this round again. Balance problems. I truly think if Perez would have put on one big initial offensive assault, I think he'd take Royan Hammond out of there. Robert Byrd warning Hammond. Exchange of right hands. Perez's right hand meant more. Big right hand. Hammond's in deep trouble again.
Perez unloading it well, and now Hammond still refuses to go down.
He has not touched the canvas yet tonight.
Unbelievable effort. Unbelievable effort by...
Was the point. Robert Byrd's taking the point away from Royan Hammond from Vallejo, California for holding. And you're not going to believe that there are people in Royan Hammond's corner that jumped up and applauded that. I think they thought they took a point away from Perez. Yeah, Royan Hammond. Referee Robert Byrd should look at stopping this fight here. Hammond isn't throwing too many punches back. Look at Royan Hammond trying to jigaboo his way, trying to fake Tomas Perez out of position. Falling back to the ropes. Oh.
But what we are seeing here in round 10, Pedro, not unlike what we saw in round 1.
No, but it's sort of Hammond in his own corner taking a licking. Look at Hammond. Hammond isn't even trying. He really isn't trying with throwing punches with his arms down. Shoulders aren't up.
Perez, I have to believe.
I've got to question Perez's number 23 WBC rating at this point, Phil.
I just have to believe that Perez can't believe Hammond's still on his feet.
He hasn't hit him with a flush blow in quite a while. Hit him with a lot of clubbing blows, telling blows, but not flush. Royan Hammond's lost a point in this round already. Plus he's losing it, so it's a 10-8 round for the champion Perez. Look at that, falling over his own feet. So this is where Perez should be working the body. Okay, granted, with Hammond moving around the ring as awkwardly and as gingerly as he is, he's hard to hit in the head. But he's not hard to hit in the body. His body's right there.
Final seconds of round 10.
Royan Hammond on unsteady legs still. I think we're going to stay here between rounds.
Well, I'll tell you, we have seen 3 outstanding fights. If you just joined us, Sergio Medina took our featherweight first fight of the night. Johnny Tapia won our battle of bantamweights, and here in the main event, thus far, it is all been Tomas Perez. You see the doctor now.
Doctor stopped the fight.
Hammond, he's going to stop this one.
The fight's been stopped.
The ringside physician says Royan Hammond had absorbed enough.
Royan Hammond isn't disagreeing with him either.
Well, a disappointing finish certainly for Royan Hammond, but a justified finish to say the least. We'll return in a moment.
On the advice of our ringside physician, referee Robert Birch stops the bout. The winner by a knockout in the 11th round, and still the California State Super Welterweight champion, Tomas Perez. But a nice hand for a very game, Royan Hammond.
Hammond, his legs were gone since the opening round. He was stung early. He was stung often. Almost down and out in round 1. Caught again in round 3 by a stinging left hook, followed by a good right hand. Was almost down again in the 3rd stanza, but somehow weathered that storm, went all the way to the conclusion of round 10, and it took the ring physician to put an end to this one. Now, Pedro
Perez.
Fernandez is standing by with our winner. Pedro?
Tomas Perez, still the California Super Welterweight champion, but not a good performance, a sloppy performance tonight. What do you think?
Well, it's a count to the guy fought. He's a tough fighter. He don't let you work. Keep holding, and it's hard to get a clean shot out of him. So it's the best person can do. That's one fight, Lupe Aquino. It was kind of the same performance, and you know, Lupe Aquino's a good fighter. It's just the guy survives, you know. Keeps holding on until.
Did you think you should have took him out in the early part when he was hurt?
I was trying. I thought I could, but he kept holding, and you know, he just caught up.
Do you think your lack of throwing body shots when he was hurt might have cost you a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's true. My trainer would keep telling me to throw more to body, and I didn't, and they were right. When I started throwing a little more to body at the end, the last rounds, he got worse and worse.
Without a doubt, his legs were gone from the body shots. You're ranked number 23 by the WBC. Where does Tomas Perez go after this win?
Well, somebody told me it was number 20 right now. I hope, you know, I get in the top 10 soon, because this guy, even though he looks sloppy and everything in the ring, he fought some good fighter. He beat Luis Santana, who's a good fighter. You know, I mean, you know, and Lupe Aquino beat him a decision. Couldn't knock him out. So therefore, you know, he must be good.
Were you surprised he didn't go down? I mean, you hit him with a tremendous amount of punches.
Yeah. Besides the, you know, besides the point that he holds a lot, he takes a good shot. You know, kept taking it.
Good enough. Congratulations, Tomas Perez, champion
yeah, you know,
still.
I hope I can get a big fight soon, and I thank the C channel for this, you know, for this publicity. and I hope they keep putting me on, you know, because I need to keep fighting and stay busy so I can get to the top 10 soon.
Good enough. Congratulations. Phil, take it away.
All right, Pedro, thank you very much. Tomas Perez, if he's looking for top 10 ranking, I'll tell you what, with the performance tonight, he might be a little ways away from that. But just the same, a couple of days from now, nobody will remember how he got it done. Oh my, does he deserve that? I suppose so. All anybody will remember is that it goes in the win column. So Tomas Perez, at the age of 28, twice a winner over Lupe Aquino when they were amateurs. He beat Kenny Lopez. He KO'd Jorge Vaca before Vaca beat Lloyd Hunnigan for the welterweight crown. Last year, he took out Gilbert Baptiste of San Diego. So it is not as if Tomas Perez had not fought quality opponents. He has come out the winner, and he did it again tonight. Recapping tonight's main event, the California State welterweight champion Tomas Perez defeating Royan Hammond at an 11th round TKO. Coming up next on Z Channel is Hatari, starring John